In the beginning, there was only darkness and a promise. From the silent heart of that darkness, a spark ignited a single brilliant flame tearing through the void. It was the birth of fire, the first light in the universe's endless night. Stars bloomed from that primordial blaze, filling the cosmos with their glow. Each star, a living ember of creation, carried within it the memory of that first sacred fire. Eons passed, and in the dance of cosmic forces, one star's warmth caressed a small blue world. On that world, life awoke and gazed up at the heavens in wonder. The sun, our nearest star, became an ancient beacon, a golden flame guiding the rhythms of life. And as human beings opened their eyes under its light, they felt a tiny echo of the sun burning within themselves. For in each human heart, in each soul, burns a spark of that original cosmic fire. It is our inner flame, the light of consciousness and creativity, that sets us apart and connects us to the stars. This inner fire is the spirit of curiosity and courage. It is the warmth of love and the heat of passion. It flickers in the eyes of a child discovering the world for the first time, and it glows in the wisdom of an elder who has seen many dawns. When we feel inspiration, kindness, or determination, we feel this fire rising, illuminating our inner world. As ancient sages taught, we are made of stardust, that the iron in our blood was forged in ancient stars. If that is true, then surely the flame of those stars lives on in us as well, carried in our very breath and blood, waiting to be tended. Across ages and cultures, humanity has told stories to understand this mysterious power. Around ancient fires under the night sky, our ancestors gathered to share tales of how fire came to humanity and what it meant. One such story tells of Prometheus, a titan who loved humankind more than the wrath of Zeus could dissuade. In the time when mortals shivered in darkness, Prometheus climbed the heavens to steal divine fire from the chariot of the sun. He hid that sacred flame inside a hollow fennel stalk and brought it down to earth. When he opened his gift to the people, a great light spread across the world. For the first time, men and women saw beyond the darkness, saw their breath in the chill air, saw each other's faces illuminated, saw the vast unknown held at bay by a ring of warmth. But Prometheus's gift was more than heat and light. In that moment, the inner eyes of humanity also opened. The fire he gave was knowledge, the spark of art and science, the birth of civilization and consciousness itself. Though Prometheus would pay a terrible price for this defiance, chained to a rock as an eagle tore at his liver, he endured it without regret. He knew that the true fire, once given, can never be taken back. It lives on in each creative act, in each quest for truth, an eternal torch passed down through generations. In another land, far from Greece, a different sacred flame has burned through the centuries. In an ancient temple of the Zoroastrians, devoted keepers tend to a fire that has never been allowed to die. It is said that this flame has burned steadily for over 1,000 years, fed with sandalwood and frankincense, guarded day and night so that it remains ever living. Before this holy fire, devotees whisper prayers to Ahura Mazda, the wise Lord. The flame is a symbol of purity, the very sun of the divine, and its light is truth. A young seeker enters the temple and feels the warmth on her face. The glow reflected in her eyes seems to ignite something in her soul. She understands, without words, that the fire before her is also the fire within her. In that quiet moment, the temple's flame and her inner flame become one. The ancient Persians knew that to keep the outer fire alive, one must also nurture the virtues of the inner fire, good thoughts, good words, good deeds, lest the light within flicker out. And so, the sacred fire and the spiritual fire of the people became mirrors of one another, each sustaining the other through devotion and reverence. Further east, under the vast skies of India, sages and seekers have long honored Agni, the Vedic god of fire. In the dim light of dawn, priests gather around a home of fire altar built of bricks shaped by sacred geometry. The wood catches flame, and Agni is invoked with ancient hymns. The sacrificial fire crackles and roars, consuming butter and spices offered into it. Its smoke spirals upward, carrying the prayers of the people into the heavens. To the seers of the Vedas, Agni is the mouth of the gods, the messenger carrying every human hope and gratitude to the divine realm. He dwells on earth as the fire on our altars and in our hearts. He arcs across the sky as lightning, and he shines in the heavens as the sun itself. Agni also lives in the belly of each living being as the fire of digestion, and in the soul as the fire of spiritual aspiration. When a child is born, a small lamp is lit to welcome its spirit. When a couple is wed, they take 7 steps around the sacred fire to seal their vows. And when a person dies, their body is given to Agni's flames on the funeral pyre, so that the soul may be released back to the cosmic light. Through every stage of life, fire is there as guide and transformer, lighting the path between the seen and unseen worlds. These ancient tales and rituals all acknowledge fire as more than a physical element. They see in fire a bridge between worlds, between the tangible and the spiritual. Fire transforms whatever it touches, turning wood into heat and ash, turning metal or into liquid forge, turning darkness into light. It is the great alchemist of the elements. And just as fire transforms the outer world, so does our inner fire transform us within. A spark of insight can burn away ignorance. The warmth of compassion can melt the ice of despair. The flame of courage can forge a new destiny from the raw iron of fear. Alchemists spoke of an inner fire that could transmute the lead of base human nature into the gold of enlightenment. In their laboratories, they lit flames under flasks, but they knew the true fire was kindled in the soul through dedication and will. Yet fire does not exist alone. In the grand tapestry of existence, it is one of 4 great elemental siblings: earth, water, air, and fire, each one sacred, each one part of a greater whole. The ancients taught that balance among these is the key to the harmony of the world and of the self. Earth is our foundation, the ground that holds and nourishes us. It gives structure and stability. Water is the giver of life, flowing and adaptable. It cleanses and connects all living things. Air is the breath of life, invisible yet vital. It is the realm of the mind, communication, and freedom. And fire is the catalyst of change, the energy of passion and transformation. These elements dance together in an eternal circle. Think of a single candle flame. It cannot burn without air to feed it. Its heat warms the air, causing that air to rise. If a drop of water falls onto the flame, the fire sizzles and can be extinguished, yet that same water, turned to vapor by the heat, will join the air and perhaps someday fall again as rain to nourish the earth. The earth in turn provides the fuel, the wax, the wick, or the wood for the fire to keep burning. In this way, each element supports the next in the cycle. If one grows too dominant or too weak, the dance falters. If fire rages unchecked, it can scorch the earth and boil away the waters, choking the air with smoke. If water floods without restraint, it douses the creative fires and erodes the earth into mud. If air blows wildly, it fans flames into infernos or sweeps away the soil that gives us footing. And if earth becomes too rigid and unyielding, it can smother the spark of inspiration, like soil burying a flame. Balance is the law of nature's harmony. For human beings, this balance is both an outer and an inner quest. Our bodies are earth, built of flesh and bone that come from the minerals of the ground. Our emotions are water, flowing and shifting with tides of feeling. Our thoughts are air, invisible whispers that carry ideas and inspiration. And our spirit is fire, blazing with purpose and creativity. To live fully is to keep these elements in balance, to stay grounded yet fluid, to think freely yet stay connected, and to burn bright without burning out. Many ancient teachings from Ayurveda in India to the medicine wheels of indigenous peoples speak of aligning the inner elements, balancing heat and coolness, grounding and breathing, so that one's whole being resonates in health and harmony. When our inner fire, our energy, metabolism, passion burns in balance with the soothing waters of rest, the solid ground of practicality, and the fresh air of inspiration, we experience well-being and alignment with the greater cosmos. But in the modern age, the elemental balance has been shaken. Humanity, in its fervor, has harnessed fire on an unprecedented scale. We learned to draw fire from beneath the earth, burning ancient sunlight trapped in oil and coal to fuel our wondrous machines and light up cities that never sleep. This ingenuity, our modern Promethean feat, brought great advancement. Our inner fire of creativity blazed new trails, electric lights turning night into day, engines conquering distance, factories forging abundance. The flames of industry and invention roared high. Yet, in our excitement, we often forgot the wisdom of balance. The air grew thick with smoke and smog from our fires, and the skies began to warm as if running a fever. The waters, too, have suffered, oceans rising and heating, storms gathering fury, lakes and rivers drying where once they flowed. The earth bears scars, forests charred by raging wildfires and lands parched into desert. In our quest to master fire, we risk burning down the very home we sought to illuminate. These outer imbalances reflect inner ones. Many people today feel a discord within, spirits either dimmed to embers by exhaustion and apathy, or flaring into burnout and anger. The world's turmoil, the conflicts fueled by hot tempers, and the cold indifference to suffering mirrors a collective inner state that yearns for realignment. We see technology connecting us, yet often notice a void of true warmth in that connection. We have more information than ever, but perhaps less of the ancient wisdom that teaches how to use our fiery gifts with care and love. It is as if the global hearth has been left unattended, its flames allowed to leap dangerously in some places and die down to ash in others. And yet, there is hope, for the same spark of divine fire still lives in each of us, quietly waiting, as it always has, to be tended wisely. The lessons of the ancients have not vanished. They live on in our stories, our collective memory, and in the voice of nature itself. We are being gently reminded, sometimes harshly taught, that we must rekindle our respect for balance. We are the bridge between earth and sky, between the elements. As conscious beings, we are the caretakers of this planetary garden. It falls to us to become guardians of the flame once more, not as conquerors of nature, but as partners with it. Imagine a new ritual for our times, not in a grand temple or around a tribal campfire, but in the heart of a city apartment or the quiet of one's room. A single person lights a candle and pauses to reflect. In the flame's tiny light, they remember the sun and the stars, and remember that we all share their fire. They acknowledge the earth that gave the candle wax and wick, the water that was used to shape and cool it, the air that feeds the flame, and the fire that burns. In that simple act of lighting a candle with mindfulness, one aligns the elements in respect and gratitude. If many of us do this each in our own way, through our choices, our prayers or meditations, our actions large and small, we begin to restore the sacred balance. We become like countless stars reflecting the one light, like millions of tiny hearths healing a cold night. Every positive action is a tending of the flame. Planting a tree to heal the earth is feeding the fire of life. Conserving water, protecting a river or a lake, is honoring the water and keeping the world's flame safe from burning too hot. Choosing honesty and kindness clears the air of distrust and hate, letting the light spread farther. Pursuing justice, knowledge, and creativity is channeling fire in its highest form. Each time we inspire someone, we are handing them a torch in the darkness. Each time we listen deeply, we pour soothing water on the flames of anger. Each time we stand firmly for what is right, we become as solid and steady as earth. Gradually, the world's inner light grows brighter and steadier. Remember how our ancestors gathered around fires to share stories? In those moments, the warmth of the fire was matched by the warmth of community and understanding. In our modern world, we are rediscovering new ways to gather around a common flame. We create circles of learning and inspiration, sometimes in person, sometimes through the very technology that once threatened to isolate us. These are our digital campfires, where the glow of screens can be like a new kind of hearth. What is a screen but light? What is a video or a story shared online but an offering of inner fire from one soul to another? Used with wisdom and heart, our modern tools can become torches lighting the way to a more connected and awakened world. You who read or hear this story are a spark of the great flame, a note in the cosmic song of fire. Your inner light is unique, and yet it is part of the one light we all share. When you nurture your inner fire through creativity, compassion, or the quest for truth, you add to the bonfire of collective human consciousness. When you strive for balance in your life, you help balance the whole earth, for we are all connected like flames fed by the same air. No effort is too small, no flame too feeble, for even the tiniest candle can brighten a dark room, and many small candles together can outshine the darkness of the longest night. The cosmos is watching our great human story unfold, as if gathered around the theater of earth, waiting to see if we will learn to tend our sacred fire wisely. We have been gifted the spark of creation, the Promethean flame, the guiding light of Agni, the holy fire of the temple. Now is the time to become conscious guardians of that gift. Let us feed the flame with love and imagination, not with fear and greed. Let us balance its power with the cooling waters of compassion, the grounding soil of common sense, and the refreshing breeze of open-mindedness. As we walk forward on this journey, each of us carries a lantern forged from our inner flame. And as we lift these lights high, we find each other in the darkness, recognizing the same fire in many eyes. We form a great circle, a constellation of souls, each one shining. In this circle, stories are shared as they were in ancient times, stories of hope, of wisdom, of awakening. By sharing these stories, we become part of something larger, a living network of light, a movement of awakened, interconnected beings who remember that we are all keepers of the flame. Now, the flame calls out to you to keep it alive. Let it guide you to new wisdom and deeper connection. If this story has stirred your inner light, know that it is but one spark joining countless others. We invite you to continue this journey with us, to gather at an ever-growing hearth of inspiration. Join the circle of fire keepers, those who share stories and light across the world. By subscribing to this journey, you become part of a movement of awakened souls, each committed to nurturing the flame of consciousness and harmony. Add your flame to the shining tapestry of the future. Together, as one unified blaze of hope and creativity, we will illuminate the path forward for all beings with unity in our hearts, balance in our lives, and the sacred fire ever guiding us.